Hello everyone and welcome to Blue Tengu's live game development show where we show everything that goes into making a game from concept to completion. If you've ever wanted to make a game, we hope this will help lower the barrier to entry, maybe give you the nudge you needed to try it yourself. Even if you don't want to make a game, we hope you'll find some entertainment value in what we're doing here. All the information about where you can find us is in the Twitch info down below, or on that sidebar there. Or in our YouTube profile if you're catching us later, but just in case, we're at bluetengu.com, btengu on Twitter, that's BTENGU. Facebook.com Blue Tengu Studio, YouTube.com Blue Tengu Studio if you're watching the live stream with me now, and Twitch TV Blue Tengu for those of you catching us later on YouTube. If you missed any episodes, you can always catch them over at YouTube, but you shouldn't have any trouble following along even if you haven't seen them. For the launch and the post-season episodes like this one, still trying to think of whether to put them up or not. I think I will put them up. I just won't, announce them or anything because these episodes are more kind of like live oriented. I don't think too many people would want to watch them later on YouTube. But put them up there just in case. For those of you who haven't seen the show on Twitch or YouTube before, my name's Eric. I'm a game designer living over here in Japan who's trying to show you everything that goes into making a game for about 2 hours a week, including all the ums and ahs and awkward debugging moments. The reason I'm showing it all as opposed to making the game first and scripting out rehearsed tutorials after that is because I do want to lower that barrier so many of us feel towards making a game, and I hope inspire you to stick with it if you're already doing it or try it yourself if you haven't yet. Thank you to everyone who dropped by last week to catch up with an update on Project Spaghetti. For those of you who are with me on Twitch, feel free to drop suggestions or ask me questions at any time. As usual, I may not be able to answer them right away because I am working. Today should be okay. It shouldn't be anything too intensive, so should be able to answer things right away. If the chat does get going, though, I may not be able to keep up. Try to get to questions, but if I can't, please send me a private message here or leave a comment on our site or YouTube video, and I'll do my best to address it next time. You can also email me at Eric that's Eric with a C at bluetengu.com anytime you want to. If any of you are out there making something and you don't mind showing it off, definitely send me a link to your stuff. I'd love to see it. You can definitely post it up there on the side. Just so you don't get misconstrued as spam, probably say hello first before posting a link. For those of you who follow the show, at this time every week for 2 hours I come on to Twitch TV to work on a game, which for Season 1, which we're wrapping up, is Project Spaghetti, a top-down 2D cowboy shooter where the bullets fired bounce around the screen with a pinball mechanic. This week I'm going to go over the last few updates to Project Spaghetti. Right now there's nothing left in the to-do list, so unless new bugs get discovered or anything like that, I think we're pretty good to wrap it up. Also going to try out some new tools in preparation for Season 2, especially I'm not sure if it's still going on right now, but Humble was having a game development bundle over at their site. Picked that up because of one tool in particular that I definitely wanted to try out, which was Sprite Lamp. Tried the demo. I like it quite a bit, but I haven't actually, dug into it and seen what it can do. So that's one of the tools I want to test today. I think in the bundle also included like Spriter, Game Guru, a bunch of other things. We'll probably go through that, but I think Sprite Lamp's the big thing I want to test today. But first, let's go over the updates to Project Spaghetti. Desktop. Boom. Okay. So, all past episodes and everything that we've done for Project Spaghetti is over on the Trello site. So if you look, if you search on Google for Trello and Project Spaghetti, this should be the thing that comes up. Let's give it a shot. Let's make sure no one else has a Project Spaghetti Trello site that's more famous. Okay, there we go. It's good. It's still good. Still got the #1 hit there. So here we go. Version 1.02. Which, by the way, if you've already picked up the game, all you have to do is go over to bluetengu.itch.io Project S Spaghetti, where you picked it up before, and you should be able to, download it. It might be something where it's like it's on your user page or something, but the version of this full game, this download, is gonna upgrade everything to 1.02. Yeah, don't worry about if it's installing over your old directory. That should be fine. It keeps all of the save data and all that. It will also, just to let you know, if I can find it. See, I think I have it in here by default somewhere. Yes. like, there is a change log in here, and you know, everything that was changed and what kind of things were changed is all in this file as well. That's thrown in there when it's installed. But let's go over the changes, because there's a few of them. The last couple of things, like the last couple of suggestions from PandaBits, who was playing it live 2 weeks back. PandaBits suggestions, and also just watching PandaBits play, you know, had a few things where it's like, okay, I need to fix that. Also a few other things as well. What we did last week was we did test the grid shrinking thing and went with that, made sure all of the other rooms had that same grid size so it's consistent. Also adjusted some of the bumpers to fit in that grid size. Alien Boss, we did test the player collision, and you know, over time I did try it out, but yeah, it wasn't a good solution. The problem is, as I mentioned last week, the problem with collision in this case is because enemies are moving and you're moving. So what happens is, if you're trying to move this way and the enemy's trying to move this way, then there starts to be this like weird like overlap, and they're kind of shoving you backwards and stuff like that. There's no really good solution for that, so came up with something that's further down the list. I'll describe it there. What else? Last stand, a hit against an enemy revives you. This was a PandaBits thing. Like when he was fighting some of the bosses and stuff, like, or even just the aliens. Even though you land that last stand bullet, which is like, you know, if you're about to die, you get one last chance to come back to life. And, you know, the bullet, if it would hit an alien shield, the alien didn't die, so it didn't bring you back to life before, but now any hit against an enemy will bring you back to life. And we've got Noob247365 and Beaveronics in the room. Hey guys, welcome and thank you for dropping by. Just going over some of the updates to Project Spaghetti. I think Beaveronics was here for the intro, so you know what's up. But just going over the last few updates to Project Spaghetti, and then we're going to test out some tools. Grids, shrink other grids in room scripts. Yeah, did that after the show. Boss fights, random life pickups. Yes, this was something, just watching, you know, PandaBits and, you know, a few other people play the game. It was, you know, during a boss fight, compared to the other enemy rooms, the boss fights were extremely difficult, and the thing that was making it difficult was you could only screw up once, in general. The last stand thing, if you could hit the boss with the last stand bullet, yeah, you could come back to life. That was helpful, but I think the boss fight still needed a little bit more of a difficulty curve, like push down. And so what I did was, if you do get a successful hit against a boss, an ammo drop and a health drop appears. So I think the boss fights are pretty fair now, compared to like the rest of the game in terms of difficulty. Yeah, so last stand hits against bosses count as well for bringing you back to life. Doesn't help you with the like boss cowboy, because he'll probably duck your bullets, but at least the boss cowboy, it's pretty easy to get hits on him, so that's fine. This bug, if paused, status effects stay forever. This is something I noticed. It wasn't that the status effect stayed forever, it was that the color of the player stayed forever, like in Twitch mode. If like someone says, you know, PS present spiker, you would get this gun where it fires off bullets in, like, you know, diagonal directions. And, you know, if the game was paused at that point, like if the player paused it and then came back, it might not even be a pause thing. I think it was just a color thing in general, but they would just keep that like color to indicate that they had that status effect, even though the status effect went away. So I fixed that bug. Extras menus. Click, type, skip, and go back. Yes, let's actually show these ones, because this is important. So like in the extras menu, since Noob and Beaveronics are both here, for example, in the credits, for example, before it was just auto scroll through the whole thing and there was no way to go forward, backwards. Now you can go forwards and backwards if you want to. So let's see, for example, Beaveronics there, and there we go. For example, Noob247365. Yeah. So you can do that for all these menus. You can also keep it on autoplay, which is what it was before. And statistics, same thing. Achievements, same thing. So it's a little more, like, I guess is professional now. Before it was just the auto scroll thing. The reason I did that, as opposed to like having a scroll bar and stuff, was just because of this font. It is a very retro font. It's a Commodore 64 font, and just fine for that resolution. But the font is, you know, obviously very chunky. It's hard to shrink down, things like that. So, you know, it has to be big. That was just the limitation with that stuff. Let me turn the music down here so I don't drive you guys insane. So that was that. So yeah, the boot screen, well, you saw that when it came up. I figured it was worth putting the Blue Tengu logo into the game before the game starts up. You can skip it if you want to, with any key or anything. Timed display showed minutes over 60. This was with the, let's see, start to go into the room. I think I have all the keys, yeah. So like an unlimited mode. This time display, yeah, I had it working for the most part, but when minutes went over like, or when minutes? Yeah, minutes went over like 60, for example, it would just go to like, you know, 1 hour, 75 minutes, and blah, blah, blah. So it needed to kind of subtract out the number of hours from the minutes to kind of keep everything into what you would expect in normal time. And separate score for unlimited mode. This is something I wanted to do before. The thing about it is, unlimited mode is very different from like the single playthrough. In the single playthrough, you go through one stage after the other. They're all preset. You beat bosses, you go through, you get the credits, and you get a chance to do New Game Plus, in which case you keep your score and go to a harder version of the game and keep doing that however many times you want to. It seemed fair to keep that score and that high score separate from this mode, which is the Twitch mode, more like the unlimited mode, because they're two very separate game types, so it doesn't make sense to kind of have the same high score thing. And PandaBits drops by. Hello, PandaBits. It was awesome, by the way, watching you play the game in full, like being able to concentrate on it. Yeah, I watched your video in archive, and it was actually extremely helpful. I think I'm addressing a lot of the things like you ran across, and I think Project Spaghetti is much, much better for it. So seeing you play made a big difference to the game. And just going through the list of what's changed for version 1.2, which is available now over here at Blue Tengu itch.io. You obviously have already picked up the game, so you could always grab that new version. And PandaBits mentions I can't actually beat the alien. It should be easier now. Made a few changes. Going back kind of through the list here, just to let you know, like with the alien boss, a hit against the alien shield with that last stand mode will now revive you, and every time you hit the alien, health drops will start appearing. So if you pick up version 1.02, you will probably beat the alien. Yeah, that's that last part when like 6 billion lasers come out. Yeah, it's a proper boss. Well, you know, I'll jump to the alien level and show you what it's like now. Let's see, going through the rest of the list here. Separated the score for unlimited mode, just went over that. Bug, player gets stuck on the border. This was a really weird one. Go into it in detail in here, but on the left side of the screen only, for some reason. If the player was against the left side of the screen and was trying to go up or down, they would get kind of stuck on the left side of the screen. Didn't happen for the right or the bottom or anything else, and it's like, okay, if it's just happening on the left side, I think I know what it is, and it was that. It's that the sprite, obviously to show the player like pointing left, the sprite gets flipped. The problem is the collision wasn't straight down the middle, so like the collision would be a little bit off when the player did that flip. So fixed that, so now moving around the edges of the screen should be completely smooth. Player don't allow shooting after the last enemy dies. This was just something where, when you kill the last enemy, you do your victory thing, and all the bullets go away to prevent you from getting like shot just as you win the level by a stray bullet. But you could still shoot after that, and alright, I did that originally as kind of a thing, so you could, you know, rack up a few last points on the bumper, but I think for the most part people will hurt themselves more than that would help them, so I think I just put on the gun safety until the next level starts. Bug, Game Maker doesn't keep track of mouse buttons. Yes, this is something, well, Noob would probably know about as well, but obviously Game Maker is working within Windows, trying to keep safe and everything else. The problem was, if you had like a window like this, and the mouse goes out like this, as you're holding down the button, if it goes out like this and you come back. The problem before was if the mouse is outside of the active window and you push buttons or anything, GameMaker doesn't register them. It doesn't register that the state changed. So what would happen before, I've kind of made a workaround for this thing, this, I guess, GameMaker feature, is like, for example, you would be holding the button to move, your mouse would go out of the screen, and then even if you came back and let go, your player would still follow the mouse cursor because GameMaker had no way of knowing that the mouse button was no longer being pushed. So what I do now is I do a full-on like system test. Like if this cursor is outside of the window, just reset the buttons. It's not perfect because there could be cases where you do want to, like, you're still holding down the mouse button, you want to go out and come back in, and you'd still want to be moving, but had to pick one or the other. So I think it's better. It feels less like a bug to at least have it stop when it comes back, which is this, as opposed to like you're letting go of the mouse button, but your player is still following this cursor. I think it feels less like a bug. There's nothing I can do to kind of make it perfect because GameMaker has that limitation. Game over, double check, return to title screen. Let's see what this was. Oh yes, Pandavits. This was something watching you play. Noticed, like for example, let's get this guy dead.
Last chance.
And fail.
Game over.
I was noticing, like, like if you, well, especially against the boss, for example, if you were kind of doing this over and over again, you would people, I'm sure, because these are close together, it's easy enough to accidentally hit return to title. And before it was just one click away, and you'd go right back to the title, and that would suck, basically, because you have to start all over. So now I ignore the mouse. You have to do keyboard or button input to get back to the title screen. So you have to say, yes, I want to quit the game. So you won't have any more of those, like, oops, I returned to the title screen mistakes. There we go. So just that little extra bit of safety there. And that's on all of the screens that have returned to title, including like the options menu. Map screen quick skip. Based on the timing, you were able to skip it quickly before, but now it doesn't matter. Whenever you click, you can skip the map. So there you go. So it's easy enough to skip the map now. Aliens energized when firing laser. Actually, this kind of went away with a different fix. So let's skip that one. And laser pass over player. Just a couple of the player states were being ignored, so even though you were like kind of hurt or were in last stand mode or something, the laser wasn't able to damage you, but it would still, like, the visual would stop at the player. So now the laser does properly goes past the player, so that's done. And this is why the alien thing is, this one kind of got superseded by this. Now cowboys and aliens hurt the player if they walk into you. For the most part, aliens and cowboys try to avoid the player anyway because they want distance to be able to shoot. So even if they're trying to avoid the player and the player runs into them, I thought it was fair enough. Scorpions, ghosts, and snowmen all work that way. So if you run into them, you get hurt now. And you stay hurt until they move away. Just to make sure you don't, like, get up and you get hurt again, because that'd be weird. In some cases, though, you do have to move pretty quickly in case they come back. And player hurts sound effects on entering last stand mode. This is just, when you were going into last stand, it didn't do that thing, the sound effect. Now it does. Just to let you know, you did get hurt. This is why you were going into last stand mode. So those are the changes. Let's go through the alien boss fight, since that's the thing, like, for example, that Pandavits was saying you can't get past. If you pick up the new version over here at itch.io Pandavits, you will get past that boss. No problem. And let's see, I think Noob had a suggestion here. Let's see. Yes, and Pandavits, you weren't here last week. Yeah, we did all these fixes as well. Some of the things that you mentioned, so like you can still scoot while dead, that's fixed. The full screen glitch, like where the resolution would go crazy when you were doing like network stuff and those like options would pop up, that's fixed. Moving with the keyboard and mouse at the same time, speeding things up, that was fixed. Scorpion boss, after taking damage, the Scorpion boss disappears, so you can't just spam it anymore. A couple of efficiency things. Some bug fixes, test sprites. Yeah, the particles are now, like, they won't slow down your system. It automatically drop the particles being shown for weather, so that's fine. There's, like, that particle auto mode now. Let's see, the player's colors dependent on the number of power-ups. That's for, like, Twitch mode and stuff when you're getting the spiker and stuff. You mentioned, like, the records getting cut off at full screen where you couldn't see the bottom of the text. Moved them up a little bit. Key inventory, weird at higher resolutions, fix that. Let's see, you can also escape to back out of menus. Obviously updated the manual, and added a quick reload. What am I doing? Why is it stop? Why is Trello doing this? Okay, there we go. And there you go. I don't know why I have a notes thing in here now. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. There you go. So Pandabits, I did fix pretty much everything that you brought up, and more. So there we go. So let's see what Noob mentioned. I think it'd be better to check the state when it enters again rather than clearing the state on exit. See, here's the problem. GameMaker can't do that for some reason. I tried to do that. What I tried to do was clear it and come back, but the problem is, let's see, let's go to these states here. Paintbrush? I don't know. Let's see. Let's get a fake mouse going in here. There's my mouse. If you would go, Noob would know, but GameMaker has 3 things it can do with the mouse. It can say, like, button pressed, button, and button released. So whether you just click the button for the first time, whether it's still being pressed, or whether it was released. If it's just being held and you go off the screen and release it, and came back and tried to get pressed or the button thing, it wouldn't know what to do with it. That's the problem. Would love to get around that. Obviously, the ideal situation would be ignore anything that's out here and then check again when it's back in here, but can't do that. Have to either clear the state or not clear the state. Those are my only choices in this case, which is unfortunate. Other people have run across the same problem, and that's just kind of the solution that everyone's going for. So whether this is being held or not just gets lost out here. If you hold it long enough to come back in and then release it, GameMaker knows what to do with that. But if you release it out here and come back in, then it doesn't know what to do with that. That's the problem. That's the problem, basically. Let's see. What else have we got here? My chat's being dumb. Never mind. Well, I'm glad it's back to normal. And Decent Scrimp drops by. Hey, Decent Scrimp. Good to see you. Grimp with the Scrimp. Skip the map. You don't want the old ghosts and goblins making people suffer through the map scroll every time they die. That's crazy talk. Yeah, I should have like the music and forcing you to go back through the map. That'd be awesome. Just if someone fails on a stage, just show them like going backwards all the way to the beginning. Torture them. It has good old ghosts and goblins. Ah, yes. And NLD first drops by. Good to see you. Thank you for staying up late. I know it's late for you right now. Yes, and yeah, I'm sorry to keep you up. I know you want to go to bed. If you start to conk out, don't feel bad. But thank you for dropping by. We're going through updates, and I'm going to try out a few tools in preparation for Season 2. And Pandabit said I was taking 3D modeling lessons last week. Nice. Good to see that. Yes. Pandabits before was like showing like the mesh stuff you were doing, like the microphone mesh and things like that. So you definitely have the skills. What kind of modeling lessons, by the way? Like, what did you learn, for example, last week? That would be kind of cool. 3D modeling is definitely not my forte. Being on like big development teams, obviously there are people that went to design schools and have been using 3ds and Maya for years and years and years, and obviously they're the people that'll be doing that stuff. So never really dug into that too much, just testing with like Unity and stuff. So let's see, self-advertisement from Noob. So I've been doing some code for my YouTube, but I'm not sure how to make videos about it. Interesting. Yeah, so like what's not sure how to make videos about it. Like what what is your kind of hang up, for example, on how to make videos? Is it more like how you should script them, or what order you should go in, things like that? Or is it more of a technical thing, like literally, like how do you edit videos or something? I don't know if there's anything I can do to help. You're definitely an expert, but if there is anything I can do to help. And yeah, NLD first. Wait, no bot at the moment. Actually, the bot is active. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's go back. Actually, freeze this into this mode, unlimited mode, in case you guys do want to throw in some PS commands. There we go. I'll keep it paused, so they'll flood into the room once you set them off. Let's see. And let's see. This chat window is awfully small. I'm going to use the laptop one, so my face is over here. I'm going to have to buy a new monitor before Season 2 starts. Catching up. Yes, Noob mentioned PS Present something there. What's the drop coins command? Let's type it in. PS Present coins. There you go. And I think I just gave myself a present. Let's check it out.
Present.
Okay, well, Noob gave me an ammo cache.
Present.
Pandabits dropped some bombs for me.
Present.
And I gave myself some coins.
Present.
And there you go. Yeah, NLD first. So we're good. Off to a good start. People are giving me helpful things. So let's see. I'll go through some more stuff. NLD, no, yeah, there wasn't an underscore, but yeah, you sent me a present, so you figured it out. Pandabits, I'll get you a link. Okay, cool. Definitely want to check that out. 3D modeling. Yeah, 3D modeling is one of those things where you just, yeah, it takes time. It takes time I don't have, I guess, to even get even halfway decent at it, decent script style. Noob mentioned I'm not sure how to present the development. Here's what I've got. Before I click on the link, Noob, just want to make sure that it's okay to show whatever's on the link on the live show. I would be happy to show it to everyone, as long as you're okay with that. Just give me the okay before I click on the link. Okay. And rating right now. Okay, good. So let's see. Let's see. I should be okay. As soon as Noob sends me the okay, I'll go to that link. But yeah, how to present the development. Yeah, it's tough. In case it helps, let me go over to YouTube and show you some other people. It's actually what other people are doing. There's two people who are doing a good job at this. Much better than me. I do this live, so it's different from what these guys are doing. If you're not doing it live, these guys are probably very good. Let's see if I can. Yeah. Well, obviously Sean Spaulding. Sean Spaulding is the man when it comes to Game Maker Studio. He used to do like all the tutorials and stuff. He's done probably billions of tutorials about it. He's also doing live streaming now. I haven't actually caught his show live. Would like to, but give him a hi and a thank you for all of his tutorial videos. But he has a ton of videos here. He has a lot that aren't in playlists too. But for example, he does a really good job of, doing exactly what he says he's gonna do, like enemy chase AI, state machines, things like that. He stays on topic, unlike me, because this is live. But he stays on topic. He gives you the information you need to do this one thing, and I think that's what people are looking for in tutorials. Making a game from scratch, I think a lot of people are interested in that kind of tutorial as well. But one or the other. If it's feature driven, I think more people are interested in it because, like, for example, me, I'm not personally interested in like watching someone make out these different games because I'd rather be doing it myself. But if it's like, I don't know how to do state machines in Game Maker or something, then I could watch this video and that helps me because it's on topic. But, it just depends on what you're trying to do. Like with his Dev Game Maker stream, this is more live, so it's probably not as on topic as some of his like pre-recorded videos. But yeah, he's one good example of, good ways to go about it. Also, Tom Francis. My man, my hero, good old Tom Francis, the guy who made Gunpoint, used to be with the press. He is awesome. Obviously, he's been in the press and stuff, but he had his whole make a game tutorial in Game Maker because he's the one that did Gunpoint in Game Maker and kind of inspired me to do it. He has a lot of good videos too. It's a very different kind of take than Sean Spaulding. Like, for example, if you want to do showing people how to make a game from scratch, this might be a pretty interesting reference, I guess. But yeah, if there's anything else I can point to your way, that would be cool. But those are two good people. Those are two people who I think do a good job at it, if it gives any reference. So let's see. I have to keep up with the chat here. Falling behind. And Cirrus drops by. We've almost got the whole crew in here. We just need like House of Klaus and Bone Crusher to drop by and we're set. Yes, Cirrus, good to see you, man. Thank you for dropping by. Yes, we're just going over the last couple of like updates for Project Spaghetti. I think the game's in a really good state right now. I think this is kind of where it needs to be. But if you guys have more suggestions, I can always go back. But I think we're getting ready for season 2. And yes, Noob mentioned Tom Francis is the bomb. He is the bomb. He's awesome, even in person. Like at GDC, got to finally see him talk in person, and it was cool. He's definitely a game dev idol of mine because he did Gunpoint, which was awesome. Yes, and Noob mentioned for me it's not going to be a tutorial but a development project. So in that case, yes, Tom Francis, his series is a very good reference point, and maybe Sean Spaulding's current Twitch stream. I don't know. I haven't seen like too many episodes of the Twitch stream. And yeah, so Noob, just let me know if I'm okay to click on that link. If not, I'll log it and check it out later. Let's see, PandaBits sent a link as well. So let's see, is this the ASCII art thing? Okay, there we go, good. It's not the ASCII art thing, Dong you were mentioning. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. So what did you do that in? Were you using 3ds Max or Maya or Blender? Before you were using 3ds Max, I think. So I would imagine that's what you did that in. Very cool. Yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, it's a very like neat design. I like that. I like this little cross thing in here too. That's sweet. And kind of the semi-transparent thing, the shadows. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, way beyond my skill level, which is obvious. So yes, oh, okay. So Noob, sure, it's just a few executables. I mean, like I should coding, or just passage of. Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll check out that link here. Should I show the actual coding process or the passage of it? So let's go over there to Dropbox. Bullets and enemies. Blue Tengu zip. Oh, thank you for the name. Let's see. Can I? Oops. I need to do this. Let's grab it. BlueTengu.zip. Good file name. Okay. Why is Firefox freezing on me? Come on. You can do this. Okay. Oh, it was trying to save to an external hard drive. That's why. Well, let's save it to the desktop here and check it out. Grab both of those. Put them on the desktop. Yeah, for showing coding, it's tough. It's tough. It depends on what your concept is. Like, for example, the concept for this show, Blue Tengu's live game development shows I mentioned is to show the awkward things that go in development. If you do show the whole coding process, obviously, no one writes perfect code right off the bat. I think most people do kind of try it once. It depends. If you want a nice, compact, high quality YouTube video, probably the way to do it is code first, write down notes, and then kind of follow those notes as you do a version that you record, and so it looks like you know what you're doing. I guess that's what a lot of people do. It looks like they really know what they're doing, but what they did was before they recorded the video, they just tried it once, got all the kinks out, wrote a script, and then followed that script live. So what it's good at is not wasting people's time. Because obviously thinking about things and going, why is this not working? It's going to be irritating to a lot of YouTube people, which is why probably Blue Tengu is irritating to a lot of YouTube people. But yeah, so it's just if your goal is to have a good YouTube video, it's going to take more time, but it's probably better to try it once before, and then follow your script to kind of get things perfect as you're explaining things, because it's going to be hard to explain things until you've gotten it right once. That would just be my thing, I guess. And Bone Crusher drops by. Yes, we only need a House of Claws now. Yes. Hey, Bone Crusher, good to see you. Yes, mentioned like pretty much everyone in the crew is here today, which is good. Good episode. Nice to see all you guys. Yes. Okay. Let's see. So, noob. Left mouse button for the bullets with scroll to change types. The enemy is just space to enable or disable the player. Okay, so let's try it. Where did it go? So let's go bullets. So this is noob's work in progress. Yes. Okay, I did see you. I saw the video where you were working on this. Okay. And the edge of the room. Very cool. Oh, let's see. Scroll. Cloud shot. Okay. Oh, that's very cool. Like DNA twisty shot. Nice. Sign shot. Spread shot. Triple shot was the one I was doing, and cloud shot. Oh, very cool. Nice patterns. Nice patterns, dude. I love that. I could see this. That would be an awesome shooter. I love this one. I love this one. Oh, that's brilliant. Very cool. Okay, let's check out the enemies one. Yeah, noob, exactly. I like this the sine wave too. Whoops. What am I doing? Oh, am I? Okay, I am the cursor then, right? What? Okay, this one I might need a little explanation on. I think they're all firing at the cursor. Is this an AI test, perhaps? Let me check and see what you said. I might have missed that. Anything is just space to enable or disable the player. Oh, space. Okay, got it. There we go. Or click. Okay, got it. Yeah, I might need a little help on understanding what this one is. Cool AI, though. Yeah, so what AI are you using right now? Is it more like a move to point kind of AI in GameMaker? Because they do seem to be getting... It feels like kind of a move to point AI at the moment, but I'm not sure what you're using, so it'd be kind of cool to hear that. Yeah, it's an AI test. Okay. And Bone Crusher mentioned, I'm surprised you're not doing Indies versus Gamers. Yes, let me check that out. Indies versus Gamers. The reason I'm not doing it is because I don't know what... I know what it is, but I didn't know they were doing it now. So, let's see. Game Jam. Yeah, PewDiePie. Let's see. Let's see what it is. Yeah, I don't usually participate in game jams because game jams usually take a whole weekend to kind of get your thing done. Yeah, see, that's the problem. Having a family with game jams, the problem is I can't take the whole weekend because I work full time on the weekdays and have like a 2-hour train commute and stuff each way. So yeah, it's just a time issue. I can't devote a whole weekend to a game jam. If I was single, I would definitely be doing game jams because I love game jams, like the concept. I like playing what people make at them. But Bone Crusher, are you participating in this, for example? Because you've done a lot of like really good like quick prototypes before. Yes, jams. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I wish I was participating. Let's put it that way. And left click to place, right click to pick up. Okay, right click. Got it. Let's see. Right click to pick up. Okay, got it. So this puts the player down, so it's testing the enemies to see what they do with the player at these different positions. Got it. And let's see. The wall stuff is crap because I'm not using Studio Physics. I wrote this as a quick test in GameMaker 8. Okay, gotcha. And Bone Crusher mentioned I'm participating. I'm making a cross between Half-Life and Robotron. Oh, that sounds awesome, man. Yes, if you're doing anything live, man, let me know. I don't know how much... It is a 3-day weekend for me, at least, over here in Japan. I don't even know what the holiday is. I don't question my 3-day weekends. Oh, let's see. Japan holidays. What is it this weekend? All right, time and date. What is it? July... okay, Umi no Hi. All right, it's Ocean Day. There we go. Celebrate the ocean. Yes, Japan has a lot of interesting holidays. So yeah, I've got a 3-day weekend, but you know, if I can spot you at the very least, you know, when your game is done, send me a link. Love it. Uh, and AI strafing, Noob said, I think my AI strafing's kind of cool. Still not entirely happy how it looks though. Let's test out the strafing here. Yeah, the kind of the shoot and go to the side. That's actually really cool. Yes. Yeah, the look thing. It could just be an animation thing. Let's see. Maybe because it's too smooth. It's probably this. Um, it's probably this. Like you would probably be happier. This is just an idea out of the blue, obviously, but let's see if I can get paintbrush up here. Like for example, it's probably just one of those things where if you put time into it, it'll look fine. It's like if you think of the movement curve, like if he's strafing this way, probably why you're not happy with it is because it's just straight movement. But if it speeds up and then slows down, like if it goes, man, how can I do this? I need to do this in like Photoshop or something because I don't think I can do it here. Oh no, I can. Kind of, yeah. So like, for example, if it kind of speeds up and then slows down, then I think you'll be happier with the animation. That's just kind of an animation thing. Usually, like when a game first gets started, that's why a lot of like it feels wrong. It's just that start and stop thing. Project Spaghetti is obviously way too simple for that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think if you had that kind of like more organic kind of motion curve going with the strafing, you'll probably be happier with it. But it could be other things as well. But I think it's just the animation thing, so it feels more natural. Because right now it's just very mechanical. Because it's mechanical. That's just the way it works. So let's see. I think we're done with that. So what I'm gonna do is grab these coins because I can't leave coins behind. Even in like any game, I can't leave stuff behind. So let's go to that alien boss fight and show you where it's at right now, Panda Bits, since you came back. And NLD is gonna go off to bed. Thank you for at least dropping by and saying hi. Good to see you. Hope you have a good weekend as well. And I don't know how often Jim's streaming lately. I haven't been able to see much live stuff because of work, but if you do see Jamorian, give him a big hello for me. Because I think he streams more at a time where you're actually awake, as opposed to me. So what I have to do, because this is the actual release version, is I actually have to make it to the boss. Yeah, I'm not in unlimited mode right now, but I appreciate the gift of coins you've given me. Yeah, okay, so I do have to actually make it to the boss legitimately. Yeah, Pandabit said no cheating. I'm not gonna cheat. I'm not gonna cheat, trust me. Good enough. Yeah, like one thing that was interesting watching Pandabits play that's very different from my playstyle is like the number of bullets on the screen. Pandabits can handle an intense number of bullets on the screen compared to me. I guess I'm more controlled. I don't know. I don't fire that many bullets. If I miss, then yeah, they're flying around the screen, but I'm not very good at like dodging and stuff, so it was a very different playstyle. It was very interesting to see. Because Pandabits had the skills to be dodging bullets. Yeah, NLD Jamorian occupied with work. I think that is the case. He's starting a new like a project and things like that, and he's very excited about it. And I think he's starting a new music project because that's his main bread and butter is music stuff, music videos. So I'm sure he's extremely busy getting that started. I know what it's like to start a new kind of site service thing. And by the way, I'm using mouse controls, if you can't tell. Just the one-handed thing. So Beaveronics. Ah! Get my heart. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's the thing about aliens. They can wreck you pretty fast with those laser reflections. Almost got him. And House of Klaus, there we go! The one person I was waiting for. Yes! Okay, we have the whole crew here. Ah, good day. Good day. What a nice start to a 3-day weekend. Yes, House of Klaus was just mentioning in the chat. We got Serious Panda Bits, Bone Crusher Noob, but we've got everyone in here. Everyone's in here, Beaveronics. And, the one person that was left was you, and you've dropped by, so appreciate that. So we've got everyone in the room. That's awesome. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I think Panda Bits being here, this is why this is now here. Shoot. This is a fun challenge level. It doesn't matter if I die, I'll keep going anyway, but since this is a challenge room, by the way, if you play through the game once, these challenge rooms start popping up. And since I've beaten the snowman boss, yes, these will start popping up. So the way I used to do this was I would take the hit and try to kill the ghosts. Ah, yes, made it. Okay, good. Survived. Alright, Panda Bits, here we go. I'll show you the boss. I might use the keyboard and mouse on this one. Okay, so as you know, with the alien boss, he starts firing. The first pattern's really easy. I know Panda Bits has no problem with this one. Now, like I said, the new update has it where every time you hit the boss, he does drop a health item and an ammo item, so there we go. I'll just leave it since I'm at full health anyway. It disappears over time, but yeah, now he's moving on to the 2 laser pattern. Oops, that bullet's gonna come back to haunt me. I just know it will. Ah! Grab the heart. Yeah, I have to be ready to duck.
Bombs running out.
Almost got him.
Last chance.
Yeah, there we go. Legitimate. Legitimate kill, so it is possible. So, Panda Bits, the things that have changed, since you weren't here last week, some of the things that changed, obviously you mentioned, you should get a last stand revive when you hit the boss and kill it, or just hit the boss, even if it's shielded, so that's in there, and then every time you actually legitimately hit the boss, health items spawn. It makes that boss fight a lot more doable. I think you'll be okay. Yeah, I always get the timing wrong for the 8 lasers. It's a hard thing to do, because you have to kind of wait. And there's 2 ways you can do it. But actually, Panda Bits, yeah, definitely download the latest version and try that out, because you will beat the alien boss now. The thing about the alien boss is it fires out these 8 lasers when it's in its final form. I should have just done a pizza cut thing. There we go. There's my pizza cut. So it fires out its 8 lasers. And it tries to target one of those lasers at where you're standing. When it starts charging, that's when it picks up where you are. So just to kind of give you a hint as to how the AI is working here. When it starts charging, that's when it picks up on where you are. So it's going to fire one laser that direction and base the other laser angles on that direction. So there's 2 things you can do. You can either tempt fate and stand there and wait for, you're here, you're waiting, and, he's about to fire the laser, duck, and hope that you time it just right, because the laser does stay in one position and then kind of slowly speeds up. The easier way to kind of cheese it is to stay away, obviously. The closer you are, the smaller these gaps are, so that's going to make it harder. So the farther away you are, the more kind of breathing room you have, which is 1. So what you can do is you get him to start charging that laser, and just kind of shift off a little bit. Because then he'll fire the laser and it'll be nice and slow there, and then start to pick up speed, and then you just have to duck it there. Obviously, I tried to do it and failed, so it's not perfect, obviously, but yeah, and Pandavits knows this, but for the benefit of the rest of you, yeah, yeah, Pandavits was there for everything. So yeah, that's that. And let's see. I need to check the chat over here. So, and House of Claus, by the way, thank you for hosting. I hosted you last week, but I think everyone had already left by the time I kind of hosted you. But hopefully, it sent someone your way. And fire all the bullets; they'll hit something eventually. Yeah, yeah. That's the Pandavit strategy. Just keep firing. You can handle an intense number of bullets. So, House of Klaus. Just got a new sound card, and it took a bit more time to install than I thought originally. For those who say it makes no difference, I disagree. Sound card, that's something I haven't installed since like the old Sound Blaster days. And I didn't even have a Sound Blaster. I had something called a Pro Audio 16 back in the 486. That's the only time I've ever purchased a sound card or thought about it. So yeah, what kind of difference does it make, by the way? Let's see. And Sirius mentioned nice score. Yeah, my chat's scrolling out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to this one, which doesn't scroll out on me. That's the thing about the Twitch client; it keeps scrolling even when you're trying to look back through old messages. So I'm going to use Chatty, which is this, which keeps my logs now. So there we go. Catch up. Mic, no more static. Yeah, that's interesting. A sound card is able to handle more like mic data. That's interesting. Nice. And I love the sound for the points. Oh yeah, the count up. Yes. Noob. Just to check. You do mean like the part where the points are like kind of scrolling up. I can show you that. Yeah, it was just I used like the change pitch thing and kind of speed it up with each point. So yeah, if you're curious about how I did it, I can go into GameMaker and show you as well. Pandabits sent a new photo. Let's open that URL. See what's there. Oh, very cool. Did you actually get like to the point where you have like bones and joints in this, or is it just modeling at the moment? You must have bones and joints, and you're trying it because I think you would flip it over and try that. Yeah, bones and joints, very cool. And let's see, from a cartoon I watched. Which cartoon, by the way? Yeah, that's very cool. Stars on the hands. Feels like I've seen this before. Bone Crusher, Blue, do you have any ideas for objectives in my Game Jam game? I know Robotron had to get the girl, but I don't find that fitting with Half-Life. So yeah, Bone Crusher, describe your project a little more. Like, for example, what did you want to use from Half-Life and what did you want to use from Robotron? I assume you want to use the mechanics from Robotron, and yeah, it's the Half-Life thing. Like, what did you want to use from Half-Life? It kind of depends on that. Robotron, obviously, for a lot of you, you know what Robotron is, but The Rock interrupts Triple H. Yes, I was looking up what The Rock actually said. Did he say, "Do you smell what The Rock is cooking?" or "If you smell what The Rock is cooking?" For a message to a friend. So, Robotron. So that's why The Rock is showing up in my thing here. Yeah, with Robotron, the original thing is you basically had to save as many people as you can and survive. With Half-Life, yeah, I guess it'll depend. It'll depend on what you want to use with Half-Life. So, yeah, and Panavit said, "Don't." Yeah, Panavit's got messed up on the kappa. I ruined my kappa. Yeah. So just don't ask me to model a person. Well, it's like drawing people. People are the hardest things because, well, human beings are designed to understand what a human being should look like for health reasons and everything else, probably. So yeah, humans are the toughest kind of barrier to cross. Obviously, it's the uncanny valley, which everyone's heard to death, but yeah, the humans are hard because of this. Let's see if we can find a nice creepy Japanese robot picture. Yes, humans are creepy because of stuff like this. We know what a human should look like. So it's harder to do right, because if you have a tree or a rock or something, you don't have this. But with humans, you definitely have this. Okay, something's wrong with this person. So humans are always going to be hard. Living things, no. So yeah, noob. Okay. Steven Universe, it's really, really weird. Steven Universe. Steven Universe. Okay, I'll check that out later. That actually looks it looks like something I'd actually like. Always give cool suggestions from Panda Bits. And did House of Klaus send me a link? New spam picture. Thank you, House of Klaus. Sweet. I'll have to use that. Yeah, we need a quote bot for this. Okay, so Bone Crusher got back to me. Okay, I'm planning on using enemies and Gordon Freeman from the Half-Life. I'm using the playstyle and the 2-joystick, aka mouse and keyboard from Robotron. Okay, well, let's think about Half-Life. You guys, you've all played Half-Life, so you could probably help Bone Crusher as well, but, like, for example, when I think of Half-Life, it's Half-Life 2, but I think of, like, the gravity gun, obviously. But, well, obviously a straight Robotron clone with just, Gordon Freeman being Gordon Freeman and, saving revolutionaries or something. It's more Half-Life 2, I guess. But, Half-Life 1 actually saving scientists. Half-Life, let's see if they have it. Save the scientists, yes! Well, for example, the easiest thing I can think of is obviously you're trying to save scientists from like the alien black hole that's coming up. You probably do want something a little more on top of that. Otherwise, it's just kind of a makeover. Well, let's see. Half-Life 2 had the gravity gun. Half-Life always seems to be about like portals and other dimensions, and aliens coming through that stuff, and obviously science experiments, things going wrong. Science experiments going wrong. Maybe there's a way to work that into the Robotron setting. Because that, poor Gordon Freeman, he's always involved in things that go wrong. That's an idea. And what is Robotron? What is Robotron? Yeah, seriously, I love Half-Life. I have a love and hate relationship with Half-Life. I do like it. It was too crowded for me. There's all this. Well, if Decent Scrimp was still in here, he would remember my tales of Half-Life. But yeah, I love the game Half-Life too. But at the same time, there are things I didn't like about it as well. But I am looking forward to 3. But I think we can officially say it won't be made. I'm sure they will make it. House of Klaus. 654 is divisible by 3. Just made 3 comments. HL3 confirmed. Half-Life 3 confirmed. Okay. And they'll make Portal Episode 2 first. Well, I like Portal. If anything, I like Portal a lot, so I would actually like Portal Episode 2 first. But that's me. I like anything Valve makes. And Bone Crusher, Black Mesa. Okay, well, let's get into it. PandaBits, definitely grab 1.02. Go over to itch.io, grab 1.02, kill that alien boss. You'll be good. With this version, you have plenty of options for killing the boss. One thing I do have to warn you about, though, with the new version is, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show before you were here, to get around kind of the walking over enemies problems, I do make cowboys and aliens hurt you now. So if you run into them, you get hurt. So that's just one thing you have to be careful of with the new version. But you will definitely be able to kill the alien boss. Obviously in that video you had mad skills. So there we go. Sprite lamp. Let's try this out. This is the tool I kind of wanted to test for Season 2, just to let you guys know. I mentioned it in like the launch episode and stuff for Project Spaghetti, but with Season 2, one thing I had in mind was birds, because, I like watching birds and things like that, and, thought I could make a game with that using kind of, let's see if I can find it. I showed it last week, but Blue Max, for the benefit of those of you who weren't here last week, not the Blue Max movie, but the game. See if there's an animated GIF. I don't want to show someone's video because then, copyright and all that sort of stuff, but, well, alright, no one's going to show an animated version of this, but Commodore 60, oh, okay, there we go, got it. So this is like an animated GIF showing a little bit of Blue Max, and the thing about Blue Max was you were in a plane, and you were able to kind of fly over the surface of the ground. You could bomb things, you could shoot planes, you had to dodge them, and you had altitude. The Commodore 64 didn't have a lot of choices for showing you like altitude and stuff, so they did a couple of things. One, they did the shadow, and two, they did this altitude meter, which like shows you blue if you're just in the right place to be shooting planes and stuff. And there's also stuff that shoots at you from the ground. So kind of thinking of that with the bird theme, and kind of making it open world, more of an exploration kind of game was where I was going. But obviously to show kind of that, give that 3D feeling, with GameMaker I'm going to have to start at least experimenting with D3D GameMaker. The 3D stuff. I put 3D models in GameMaker. Yeah, that's nice. Working with 3D. GameMaker Studio can do 3D stuff, but even they say it's not designed for 3D, so I'm not sure how far I can get away with this. But I like GameMaker. I want to use it. I don't want to go to Unity if I can avoid it. Because obviously Unity's expensive. I don't want to pay $2,000 for like the professional version of Unity, and I don't want to use Unreal Paper 2D either. I like GameMaker for what I'm doing. So there are 3D things. I do want to kind of do altitude and stuff like that. But as I thought about the game more and more, whether I go with a bird theme or an airplane theme was the thing I was kind of up in the air about. I liked birds, so I wanted to do birds, but I'm starting to tilt more towards airplanes at the moment. The reason is there's just more things you can do with airplanes. Obviously, they can, drop bombs. If I made a bird like poop all over the place, I guess it could drop bombs, but it'd be kind of too comedy for what I'm going for. But planes can obviously drop bombs. They can also leave trails. It makes more sense. Also, the way planes move would probably make more sense with mouse and keyboard and stuff like that. Altitude makes more sense. And it can do stuff like landing, taking off, stuff like that. So I'm kind of leaning towards airplanes right now. But one of the things I did want to test was Sprite Lamp, which let me check if Humble is still doing their game making bundle. I don't think they are anymore. Let's see. I don't think they are. They started a new bundle? Oh, no, there's still 3 days left on this. Okay. So, Humble Bundle. For those of you, I'm sure most of you know what Humble Bundle is, but usually you pay whatever you want for, a certain number of things. If you pay extra, you get a few more things. One of the things, I've always wanted to get this, Sprite Lamp. What Sprite Lamp does is this. This is their example. It can do real-time shading on your kind of pixel art, which is nice. What you have to do to set it up is you have a diffuse map, which basically says the diffuse map says this is what this thing looks like if it's fully lit from every direction, so no shading. And then what you can do is you can define this is what it should look like if there's a light coming from the left, from the right, from the top, from the bottom, from the front, specular maps, normal maps, all this other stuff you can do. And, the more you put in, the better this gets. Obviously, like the way the human's head's shaped. If you don't put these in, then it just kind of does like halfway and stuff. So I want to try this out with like, basic sprites, just to see if it's something I can work with. Because if I can get real-time shading, I think it will help with the 3D sensation. So I want to try that. And Bone Crusher, you got the bundle. Yes, there's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of stuff. Goats on a bridge. Yes, there's a lot of stuff in this bundle. It's crazy. There's more than they're showing, which is weird. I don't know why they don't show it all. But yeah, obviously RPG Maker. The thing you've seen the show. For those of you who've seen like the animated show, I use RPG Maker VX to make that. And they have like all these different things, like sprites and stuff for that. They have games that were made in it. They have Stencil, Game Guru. I like Game Maker, so I'm not going to switch to those, but ProMotion. And then the big things I think are down here. Spriter, which allows you to draw like sprites, which can actually animate and stuff like that. You can put parts together and do all that. Robot. And Sprite Lamp, which I'm going to try now. and then extra stuff as well. Also, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this game making bundle, and it's cheap, $12 for all that stuff. That was crazy. And let me pull up Chatty so the messages don't scroll out of my view here. Yes, Panda Bits. Changed hurt boxes, exactly. With snowmen, scorpions, and snowmen, scorpions. What am I missing? Ghosts. They all had hitboxes. It was just the cowboys and the aliens which didn't. But as I described, the cowboys and aliens usually try to move away from the player because they're trying to shoot you. I just did that because, like, for example, with your thing of being able to walk over aliens and stuff, I did do like things where you could bump against them, and it's awkward. It's awkward if you can walk over them too. It makes more sense that they can damage you, so I did switch it around that way. And Pandavit's, rest in peace, Iwata. Yes, yes, poor Iwata passed away. So yes, rest in peace. He's definitely a big piece of the game industry, and it's weird that he's not here. And Bone Crusher did mention I've seen a Doom 3D game in Game Maker Studio. It's an example of code and commented very well. Yeah, you can do 3D games in Game Maker, so we'll see. So Sears said I would love shading. So how does the shading basically work? So let's try it. Let's get into this. Let's see. Let's test a Project Spaghetti sprite. Get into this. Sprite name test. So this is the unlit version. Let me show you. This is the old basic sprite for the player. Just kind of the generic sprite here. Completely lit, no shading whatsoever. Sprite lamp. It does a good job of like up-resing the pixels and stuff for me, which is nice. If this is all you provide it, obviously all it can do is just uniformly shade things. So we got this character. Based on your light source, if your light source is here, if you don't give it any information on how it should shade it, all it can do is do this. Do this kind of concentric circles thing. Where it's like the further and further you get away from the light source, the darker it gets. That's all it can do if that's all you provide it, and that's okay. But let's try. Let's see if I can do this. Let's try left first. Well, let's do a left sprite. See how easy this thing is to use. Go into Photoshop. So Pandabits, yes. Let me know, by the way, if you think the alien, like the alien and cowboys running into them, is okay or not. I definitely don't want to change the game for the worst by making an upgrade, but I think it works. I think it works. So let's see. For shading, how much shading am I gonna do? Yeah, thank you. Yep. It's an old version. Let's try something. Let's try just going extreme with this. Yeah, and by the way, Noob, this is not for Project Spaghetti. I think Project Spaghetti I'm not going to use shading. So let's try this. I'm not entirely sure if this is what Sprite Lamp is expecting. I assume it is. Let's go with the extreme version first and see how it works. So kind of like ignoring the colors and just doing the shading. Yeah. And let's go a level further. Let's go extreme with it. Alright, let's see what this does. Oh, no, I don't want to go to bridge. I just want to save it. Okay, let's try this. Let's see. Get rid of this one. Clear map. Left. Open map. Probably need to give it a little more information, don't I? Seems to know what to do with it, which is good. Let's try the right map. Get rid of front. Oh, it's being used. Okay. And Noob asked, what you doing with diffuse maps? I like normal maps and diffuse maps. Just gonna try to do shading with it so that, you know, obviously if I'm in an airplane game, having a sun and things like that will help kind of give that 3D feel to it. If I don't do that, obviously, you know, looking at Blue Max, Commodore 64. Obviously they didn't do it. They didn't do shading and all that stuff. They just have like the shadow popped on the ground. That's obviously the easy way to do it, because all they did was just have this semi-transparent shadow down here. The rest, there's no shading whatsoever. It still works because it's kind of this kind of off view, camera view. It's not straight top down or anything, but there's no feel of like light in the game. It's just you've got a shadow dropped on the ground. So just trying to see how easy Sprite Lamp is to use, and if it is usable, then because it does work with GameMaker, I know that. Because the developer of Sprite Lamp did show how to use it in GameMaker. So if I can use it, it's definitely something I want to do. It'll also add a little bit of an extra oomph to the game as well. So let's see, this is right. So this is if the light is shining from the right. And I just need to drag this over to Photoshop. Come on, there we go. All right. Probably do something similar with this. So, like for example, the difference between just using its defaults and not using its defaults is you can kind of define this kind of curviness to it. With an airplane, maybe there's no need to do that. We'll see. So this is assuming the light's coming from the right. And again, this is just an experiment. It may not even be something that's worth pursuing, but that is the point of experimentation. I try to get reasonably close to what I have on the right in terms of shape and stuff. It'd probably be easier if these were the same size. So neck one more down, and then coming over here kind of to the right, and the hip. And actually like that. Came over a little bit too far, didn't I? Yeah, because this is the arm. Yeah, it's not a nose, so I think it's fine being as it is. This one's a little more straightforward. Did need to come in here like this, and like that. Yeah, obviously shading is going to be a lot more work than just drawing the original sprites, especially if there's animation involved. This would be a lot of work, obviously, with animation. Okay, let's try right, see how that is. And, you know, it may not even make a difference, really. Let's see, clear, right. You know, like, how much of a difference is this really making to do these things? It's really hard to tell. It's probably just too small to really tell. That could be part of the problem as well. Yeah, shading is great key. Hides in the shadows. Yeah, exactly. Noob shines a flashlight at Sirius 654. Ah, poor Sirius trying to hide in the corner. This noob searches for him. That's actually a cool game idea. Hunt for Cirrus. Yes, and House of Klaus, welcome back. Just going over shading stuff right now, just trying to see if, for example, even doing these kind of detailed maps is worth it or not. It may not be worth it, actually, because this is a very simple sprite. You know, theoretically, this area should be a little bit lighter than this area, for example, but it doesn't feel like it is. Could be that it needs more. Let's try the top and bottom. It's an experiment. It is going to be a lot of work to do this for every single graphic in the game, though. So, let's find out. Yes, House of Klaus, you're okay. I gave you your love. Welcome back. It is good to see you, man. Don't worry, you're loved. By the way, House of Klaus, I don't know if I mentioned this, but yes, last week, one of the things was I did give you your doorknob fists in the game, so you do have doorknob fists. Top. Yeah, that's the thing Noob mentioned. If they don't have implied roundness, it doesn't matter. In this case, there's a little bit of implied roundness because obviously, you know. Oh, by the way, if Beaveronics is still here, I am actually wearing the blue Tengu shirt today. So there we go. So I guess I could just stand here during breaks or something and use that as my break logo. But yeah, obviously, like the human body, and especially in my case, you know, you've got a stomach. It pops out, and it gets shaded differently. So yeah, like at the cowboy, you could kind of see where it could kind of curve the light around the waist or the nose. Like obviously, you know, light would kind of hit the nose differently because it's a different shape and different curvature. Kind of depends on the shape. With an airplane, for example, paintbrush. With an airplane, for example, you would, if you had a basic shape. Apologies for my airplane, by the way, in advance. Please do not give this to Boeing because they'll steal it, steal my design idea here. But with an airplane, obviously you would expect if it's lit from the top, this area is going to be rather light. This area is going to be a little darker because it's kind of got that bump, the airplane bump, and it kind of curves away as the shadow goes away. Let's see if we can find an actual top-down picture of a plane. Top view. No, those aren't very good. Not, alright, that's kind of shaded. Someone actually put the work into shading this. So yeah, so your kind of implied roundness is coming from this shading. If you don't do shading, then you have no roundness. The only roundness you get is people's imaginations. Everything I draw is ovals. People's planes, mouse, etc. Yeah, that's my default, is to go for the ovals. The good old appeal of circles. Alright, top. So this is lit from the top. If it's lit from the top, I would expect the bottom to be shaded, maybe down to here or something. And that second layer of gray would probably be like this. Yes, good observation, noob. I definitely have the oval as my go-to tool in paintbrush. And I could even, well, that's lovely. The undo command. Let me let go of the mouse once in a while so I don't have to do that. And he does have a hat, so this is kind of where this can come in. Kind of give him a shade under the hat a little bit. And to kind of get that roundness, let's add a few pixels in here. So it looks like the hat's kind of shading. And let's see what that adds. And let's also do bottom while we're at it. Obviously, more complicated sprites are going to get more out of this tool, like that head, for example, that they were using. And this one's top shaded. Wait. I thought I saved it as bottom. Hold on a second. Let me just double check here. Which one did I just make? This one is this one needs to be bottom. Yeah, the light coming from the bottom. Yeah, okay. So in that case, you can imagine shining a flashlight from under the character. It's like the nose wouldn't be quite as dark because there's still light hitting it. Like the brim of the cap probably wouldn't be as dark either. And let's see, the neck would probably be a little like that. Maybe the beginnings of the shoulders. And the top of the gun would be a little bit shaded as well. Okay, so that's top. Let's see if this helps a little bit. Add top light. I think I did get them switched. So let's take this out. Clear map. I think I got them switched around in my mind here. Let's close these. Right, because I need to rename them. So this is actually bottom. This is actually bottom. Ah, good old Photoshop. Good old Photoshop. Writing over things the wrong way. Ah, great. Let's close Sprite Lamp for a moment here. Yes. Yes. Thank you for opening Steam for me. Bottom too, that's fine. So yeah, Photoshop being helpful. Saving copies of my sprites, it did a whole bunch of like bad things on me, so let's do this again. Bottom. This is lit from the bottom. This is lit from the bottom, so this has to be lit from the top. Yes, please stop opening it. I need to change my mouse click settings. Top. Okay, let's open that again in Photoshop. Yeah, okay, this is top. So let's, well, at least we remember what it was. So Commodore 64, boom. Do that again real quick. Yeah, I'm not too worried if it's a little different. Yes, please don't write text in my valuable Commodore 64 palette. Don't mess up with my palette. And hat shading. Okay, good enough. Good enough. Good enough for testing. Let's open up Sprite Lamp again. Load image set and diffuse. There we go. And this does. Let's clear that. Bottom. Oh yeah, because I didn't rename bottom yet. So let's do that. Sprite Lamp does do this automatically for you if you've got your files named correctly. Okay, so this is bottom. Doesn't seem to be doing its job. Not too sure about this. Maybe it's kind of doing it. Really hard to tell. Because theoretically, this bottom light should make these top pixels pretty dark. Kind of around the shoulders. It's hard to tell because a lot of the character is black. So that's probably not a very good example. Yeah, and I'm not going to worry about front light and all that because it's not an actual kind of 3D sprite. That stuff's not going to make much of a difference. I mean, I guess I could have the light kind of radiating out. So let's try front light. See what that's like. Front. Okay, let's actually do the proper front light. Crusher sent a link, so I'm going to have to go to that here. Let me just do this one first. So, a front, just assuming it's lit from the front. Probably going to be something like this. And the rest can be white. Okay, now we've actually got an official front, and let's add it in. Open front. Okay. Yeah, again, with this character, it's kind of hard to tell if this is working. I think it is, because there's a little bit of a difference, like shining the front light does kind of tail it off. It needs to be a more extreme kind of light. I wonder if I can do that somewhere. If there's a way I can set the light. Yeah, it's something I'll have to look into a little more. Map generation. Ambient light flatness, gradient box size. Yeah, okay, depth map. Alright, so I would need all that stuff. Light settings, wraparound lighting, foreground, light, animation style. Let's change the background color here. Make it something easier to see the light with. Okay, wraparound lighting. Okay, there we go. Okay, the effect we're going for is a little closer to that. There we go. Okay, so we got a nice kind of spooky light going now. Now it's working the way it should. It was just the light was too intense. It wasn't shading anything. So, yeah. As a tool, this works. It's not that bad to set up. So yeah, front light. Everything in the middle is bright. Everything on the edges is not. Kind of going up here under the hat and stuff. Yeah, so it is doing a lot of stuff for me. Definitely keeping track of all those different maps and things depending on the light. It's definitely keeping track of if the light is below here, how to shade this, and if it's above here, how to shade this. Yeah, this is a cool tool. I like it. Nice. Okay. Yeah, Sprite Lamp is definitely usable. Very good tool. So, Bone Crusher Blue, these are some of my concept sprites. Weapons, players, I'm sure you can figure out who's Gordon Freeman and his special arsenal. Yes, I gotta see that. Yeah, sorry to keep you waiting on that one. Let me jump to the link. Let me bring up Chatty here. House of Klaus, still getting the love. And Forever in Debt. A love debt. A Wookiee love debt. Yeah, and Noob mentioned like if it's a bevel, like it is actually like a model or something, it would be super useful. For 8-bit people, not so much. 8-bit people, you can kind of do straight lighting. Yes, Beaveronix finally showed you the shirt. Yeah, I forgot last week again. But yeah, the official Blue Tengu shirt over at Spreadshirt. Yeah. Yeah, and everything he draws ovals. I did see that. Pandabits! Shoot, I didn't see you go. Gotta go doing some kayaking. Well, I've been in and out, but I'll be emailing you later, Tengu. Yeah, if you are still here. Looking forward to hearing about your preparation for coming to Japan as well. Again, it would be awesome to meet you if you do have time and your friends okay with it, but if not, no worries. If you need any more information about Japan, hotels, anything, I can look it up for you. No worries. Same for any of the rest of you. If you come to Japan and you need information, let me know. Yeah. Just remember that a top light would only make the stomach white. His upper torso would be gray. Yeah, the front light, the shining on the front, because it would be like his stomach is popping out. And Yeah, still editing top. Yeah, I make that mistake in Photoshop a lot with like editing PNGs. I'm okay if I edit PSDs, but then when I edit PNGs, I do it wrong. And let's see. Make sure to have the belly be the only shaded thing. Oh, and the hat and gun, yes. So, blue, these are some of my concept art. Let's do it. Let's go over to Bone Crusher's site and check it out. Yeah, I'm on. Should be fine. Oh well. Oh, whatever. I don't know if I'm actually logged in or not, but it shouldn't matter. Oh, how cool. How cool is that? That is awesome. That is awesome. Very, very cool. Even the Mexicans. Sweet. And the handguns and everything. So, Bone Crusher, I've got a question for you. Like, you've got the sprite sheet here, but you've obviously got like the parts separate. Are you? I assume you're using GameMaker again because you've used GameMaker on previous projects. But how are you, for example, doing like the holding the gun changes and stuff? Are you? Well, let's go to my favorite paintbrush and use some ovals. Are you like having like a player object sprite and saying draw the gun sprite at XY? Or do you have like a gun object that you're kind of drawing and keeping stuck on the player? I'm always curious about how people do this kind of stuff because everyone kind of does it differently. But I'm just kind of curious how you're attaching those things. I think in general with Project Spaghetti I've always done one object and just kind of draw the sprites that need to be drawn on top of that. But I'm curious as how you're going about like giving these guys their guns. Yeah, Gatling gun. That is a sweet Gatling gun. Good job with the pixel art, man. Good job. And Noob said, shine it on the right of his face. Yeah, the nose. Yeah, the nose, the front. Let me check. Front light. I've got a little bit of shading, but it's kind of over the top because of this. Well, no, the right light. Yeah, I don't know why the nose is so dark. Like here, for some reason, the nose is lighter than when the light is right on top of the nose, which is weird. So yeah, I could see where this would take a lot of tweaking. Like probably the problem is that I have any shading at all on this front light. It kind of works, but it's going to take a lot of work to get it just right. It still feels shaded, which is cool though. Which is good. Yeah, Noob, exactly. Not that bad once you spend 15 minutes trying to figure out how to make it work. Exactly. It's going to be a tool like if you could imagine. Let's take a tour of Project Spaghetti's sprite sheets if I still have them. Let's see, project. Let's see if I still have the sprite sheet somewhere. App data, local, Project Spaghetti, GameMaker Studio. It might be in the projects folder. GameMaker makes so many folders. I get lost in it sometimes. GameMaker Studio. Documents, that's where I want to go. Documents. GameMaker and projects, okay. Do I have it? Nah, it didn't keep my sprite maps. But let's just look at the sprites themselves then. Go over here. Project Spaghetti graphics. Like for example, characters, player. If I did do, like for example, if I was crazy enough to do like the shading for Project Spaghetti, even though I'm like a one-man team here, I would have to do front, left, top, bottom, all that stuff for all of these animations. Yeah, that's a lot of work. That is obviously 4 times the work, 5 times the work, probably even more because you have to get all the shading right. So whether it's a tool worth using or not, hard to tell. Obviously, it does make things look better, so if you have time, it's probably worth doing. And And Bone Crusher got back to me. I have it creating an object and sticking to the player. I'm changing the weapons using a DS grid, saving all the stats like ammo, sprite, bullet type, name, etc. Okay, that makes sense. So you actually have a gun object with the appropriate sprite, and it's saving all the stuff, and it's attaching that to player. Yeah, that's probably the way to go, especially with different gun types. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so that's Sprite Lamp. I'm going to take a quick break and check out one of the other tools that kind of came with GameMaker. This one, I don't know very much about the tool itself, so hard to tell what I'm going to be able to do with it without watching tutorials, but one of the other tools that came with this is Spriter Pro. And that's all I get to start with. So it's going to be really hard to play around with this without any information. We'll see. I'm going to take a quick break and be right back. It may be a tool where I just have to watch tutorial video after tutorial video. What it's theoretically supposed to do is kind of like Flash. If you've made Flash games before, you make the body of the character and he's got no arms and legs, and you kind of attach the arms and legs and shift them around and animate them. It does the same thing with sprites, but we'll see. There's other tools here as well, which might be kind of fun to look through. Palette swap, for example. That would be something interesting to look at in GameMaker, but I'm going to come right back. I do need to take a break and freshen up. So, thank you guys for watching. If any of you guys are going to drop back, Noob said going to do some chores that I should have done an hour or two ago. Glad to see the game is looking amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Noob. Yeah, Project Spaghetti is done and ready. I think we're ready to move on to Season 2. Just have to get prepped up for it. And there we go. So have a good weekend, Noob. And I will take my break and be right back. Bye to all of you, by the way, who do leave during the break. So I'll just be doing another 20 minutes after this. Thank you for waiting while I took that break. Back here, let's see. We're going to try out a few more tools, I think. Actually, for that Spriter program that I was talking about, it just seems like this is something where I'm going to have to watch a tutorial and just see if it's worth using or not. I think it's going to be rather hard to just kind of jump into it from the looks of the user interface. So the other thing I did want to test was, in GameMaker, there is someone who designed actually kind of a neat palette swap tool. And let's show kind of the results of it. This is the demo that comes with it, but yeah, palette swap. You know, classic kind of games, you would be able to do this kind of stuff. So like you could shift colors and, you know, do these different things like shifting left and right, shifting colors, custom palette, single replace. So like this, for example, you could make different colored enemies based on this. Like for example, with Project Spaghetti, do have like the different colored enemies, like red, green, whatever. The easy way to do it is like image blend and stuff like that, but you need whites in your characters to be able to do that. But what this does is it actually replaces the colors for you within GameMaker. Very, very neat tool. Just have to make sure that it's actually going to be something I can use if I'm going to depend on it or not. Did pick it up. Okay, let's give it a shot, I guess. Yeah, old school RPG games with different colors representing harder enemies, and that's exactly what we're doing in Project Spaghetti. It wasn't too bad for Project Spaghetti because it's just could easily use Photoshop and just go through the palette and just say color replace and whatnot. That wasn't bad, but I think with the next game, gonna need more enemies, more different things, and gonna need more color variations. And I think this is just a more efficient way to do it too, in terms of like sizes and things like that. So just want to make sure this works. So this will involve creating a new GameMaker project, I assume. We'll see. Yeah, this will be my first time using it, so no idea. New project. There we go. Palette swap, P-swap test. Let's do that. Yeah, I guess that's something I could test as source control as well for the next project, but yeah, we'll not test too many things at once here. So now I've got a completely blank, fresh project, an empty canvas, something to really kind of scare me away. So I think, where was it? Marketplace. Yes, my library. Inside of GameMaker, different people make different tools for kind of extending GameMaker. A lot of them are free, but some are not. The one I did, oh, by the way, if you are using GameMaker, one thing you do want to pick up is Zigthop 3's shaders. Those are awesome, by the way. But let's see if I can find it. Okay, I do have the XML parser. I'm just wondering if I did do that. Pixel shader. Okay, so someone, actually Zigthop does have a pixel shader, which is interesting. Draw resizable. I think it might actually be one of the last things I did. Okay, so retro palette swapper. This is actually something I bought because it was just a very neat tool, and I think if it works, it would save a ton of time, so it's worth it. So, download. I thought I already downloaded it, but I guess not. We'll wait for the download. So, hey Abbott, by the way. Thank you for waiting through the break, even though you just showed up before the break. I appreciate that. I'm sure that scared off a couple of people who came into the room and left. Ready for use? Okay, let's add this to the project and see what happens. Let's add everything, because it's gonna. Usually, when people make the extensions for GameMaker, they include like example objects and things just to get you started. So let's just import them all. That's gonna be the easy way to do this. And hey, the video was cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Those videos, yes, went over it like when releasing the game, but those videos take a long time to make. You basically have to script them out in RPG Maker and record them and set them up and all that stuff, and you don't get too much feedback on them. So it's one of those things where I'm kind of wondering, are these worth doing? Appreciate the feedback. So with the palette swap test, obviously that beholder, that example, probably if I just run this, it'll basically give me that demo. I assume. Probably. Let's see. Object basic example, get font 0. Someone didn't include the font in the pack. That's a shame. Alright, well, let's just do this. Use the default font. Yeah, that's just something in the package, I guess. I forgot to do, but there we go. Probably assumed that font 0 would be in there. Okay, so it just gives me basically what I had. This is basic palette swapping. All this is literally changing one color for another. This isn't too good. This is not too good. That is not good. Yeah, these are all kind of blurry. Let me check the example again. Interesting. Maybe one of those things where it's not working out. These are definitely very distinct palettes, so these work properly. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Whatever I've got in this GameMaker project by default, you can see these are obviously very blurry and very weird. Full fade, don't want to do full fade. Desaturation, that doesn't work either. Wow, that's kind of disappointing. Swap tile layers, yeah. That is very disappointing, because yeah, that would be unusable. That's kind of unfortunate. Why is this happening? What is going on here? It's kind of unfortunate. This sprite looks okay. Wow, I was hoping it'd be something I could use right out of the box, but nope. Something with the rooms. It's not the size, I don't think. 1280 by 720. Wow. Okay, well that's unfortunate. Maybe I could get it working with a little work. We'll try it. Yeah, that's kind of unusable. Let's just check the palette itself. See what's going on here. Yeah, the palette itself is fine. But that I know what it is. Let's go into, this is a game maker thing. I think it's global game settings. Let's check it out. Graphics. Yeah, interpolate colors between pixels. This is on by default, so I think if I turn that off, maybe things will work out. Yeah, Bone Crusher, exactly. You picked up on it. Yeah, the same thought occurred to us both at the same time when we saw that palette. There we go. Now it's working. It should work fine now. Basic. So gradual palette swapping. Yes, there we go. Okay. So, word to the wise: if you do pick up, let's give this guy his proper props because he did make a very cool tool. Just obviously he can't control your project settings, so it takes a little work. He probably did have something in like the README saying you have to do these two things first. Retro palette swapper, digital. So let's actually show where to get that. Yes, Bone Crush. I love those sprites. Man, I love those. I want to see your game in action. If you are streaming, let me host you or something because it would be actually awesome to do that for you. But let's see, retro palette swapper, Vatican Games. There we go. Go over to the Game Maker Marketplace. Yeah, I guess I own the assets. I can't show how much it is. That's unfortunate. There's got to be a way to show it. I think it was just a couple of bucks. It's less than $5. Retro palette swapper. Maybe if I show like a cached version of this. Check the Reddit stream. I'm offering it for free. Oh, I guess I should have searched for this. Now I feel perfectly validated giving this guy his money. But interesting. Okay, well, I guess if you want it for free, check for Reddit. But there we go. Photoshop tutorial. How do I make it work? Set up your palette sprites. Shut up. Palette system. Okay, well, there aren't examples on exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So if you do pick this up, what you have to do, in addition to adding it to your project, you do have to come over here to Global Game Settings. And, well, if you're doing it Windows graphics, and turn interpolate colors between pixels off, because what that does is if your sprites scale up, it's trying to find the best match that's kind of in between the pixels, so it blurs everything out. If you're doing pixel art, you have to turn this off every time. And you have to keep the aspect ratio, things like that. Okay, so it is working. It does seem like something I can use. Obviously, this is just the example, so I would have to throw in like a Project Spaghetti thing and see how that works. But this has potential. This is a graphics thing, so it'll come probably later in Season 2 of the next project. But that's something that I can use. Let's see what else is in here that I can use. One problem with the Season 2 game is going to be that it is going to be an open world kind of game, which means I don't want to draw just a gigantic room that kind of sits in memory. So I'm trying to think of ways to go about that. One way to kind of go about it is to kind of like use XML for like storing maps and stuff and just load the area you're in and things like that. That's going to be probably the new thing that's going to take a lot of work because this is a very different game than Project Spaghetti. By the way, just to show you these as well, the free shaders. I know I've downloaded this in the past, so I'm not sure why it's not already downloaded. But the Zigthop shaders are really, really good. Zigthop shaders. And he has a color replacing shader, so that might work too. But Zigthop 3 has always done a lot of like really cool shaders for Game Maker, and obviously the new marketplace allows you to do this. So grayscale, brightness, contrast, things like that. Because one of the things I want to do with the game is to show that altitude, like in Blue Max. Blue Max, Commodore 64, very limited palette, couldn't do very much to show you the different altitude things. What I want to do is kind of drain the palette as you go down and fill in the colors as you go up to kind of give you an idea for where you are altitude-wise. So I'm probably going to be using one of Zigthop's shaders to do that. Very good. If you are working with GameMaker, definitely recommend picking these up. You can use whatever shaders you want. Let's see what else we've got in here. Let's add this to the project. So import all. Hopefully this doesn't break things. Yes. Okay, it already did import them. Got it. And this one actually did include font 0, so there we go. Good on Zigthop. It's probably going to show me the standard one. Yeah, it's going to show me this room, so I need to bring one of these up. So let's try grayscale. Should be the default room that pops up. Takes a little while because there's a lot of shaders to compile. But Zigthop's thing obviously comes with its own demo as well, so you can use Q&A to adjust how grayscale it is. This is fully saturated, and this is unsaturated. So shaders basically just kind of pass over all of your pixels and kind of apply different color values to them and shift them and stuff. So these are obviously very, very, very cool. And full screen or sprite only, so you can also do it just for this character. I think, is it full screen right now? Oh, shift key, there we go. Okay, that's not working. Well, this should probably work for me. Let's see what else is in here. Library. A black and white version of Project Spaghetti. Yes, well, the Project Spaghetti already has the sepia shader, so that wouldn't actually be very tricky to do. Thinking of Project Spaghetti, like there is a sepia shader, so it could do the black and white shader for that. That's possible. Let's add that to the dream task list, since it is something you suggested. Yeah, like, are you thinking black and white in terms of like pure black and white, or more kind of like an old-timey black and white? That would not take long. Old-timey mode, black and whites. And give Bone Crusher his due. Crusher 2002. It's kind of a combination of game design and graphics. Yeah, it's shaders. Literally, it's just adding the shader in and throwing in a line of code. Oh, maybe we should go over to Project Spaghetti and show shaders. But yes, that would actually be very easy to do. 8-bit chill out shader. Draw sprite shadow. Yeah, let's see what this is. This is probably better than what I'm doing. I remember using this in the past. Yeah, I had problems with it. Okay. It depends on the type of project you're using, definitely. This would be interesting. Scripts. Okay, this is just scripts, so sprite shadow. Yeah, these are just scripts. But I remember seeing them. Let's take a look at those scripts. I didn't actually add it to the project. Because shadow, obviously, is something I'm going to be needing, but 3D, I don't think these scripts are going to work with 3D anyway, so I'm going to have to do my own thing. Not a problem, though. Export, draw skewed, vignette, noise shader, CRT pixel shader for like an old-fashioned kind of game. Dynamic puddles, virtual joysticks, essential scripts. IRC. Yeah, I never looked into this, but maybe it could have just done everything that I was doing before. Perlin noise. This might actually be useful for like the open world stuff, because what Perlin noise does. A lot of you might already know this, but Perlin noise. Open world generation. There we go. Noise functions. Yeah, so like procedural generation. Perlin noise is used to kind of generate landscapes and things like that. This is a kind of detailed description. Making noise. Is this person actually using GameMaker? Well, maybe not. But yeah, it's kind of a way to generate kind of a smooth noise thing. You can combine it however you want. Perlin noise, in general, when it comes to games, is used for procedural generation. There's obviously a lot of videos on it. Procedural random. I'll turn the sound off so I don't violate anyone's copyrights if he happens to be playing music or something. But yeah, it's just a way to kind of generate your landscapes and stuff like that. So I probably do need to use this extension. For example, a lot of these things I wonder why they're not downloaded. Maybe it's a project-based thing, like it has to be downloaded per project or something, and that's why they're not downloaded. And this one does give me a room. Okay, so this should give me an example. Import all. Hopefully that brought it in. Yes, okay. Let's check this out. I would rather not have to do my own. Would rather not have to do that, but if I have to, I have to. Because open world, gonna have to do something random to it, otherwise I have to literally just draw the whole map, and that's kind of wasteful. Like the game is gonna be kind of exploring like this landscape where you have to kind of land on islands, get fuel, things like that, along with dodging enemies and kind of more the traditional shooty kind of things, as well as like drawing around enemies and stuff to get points out of them. So need kind of a huge world, and it'd be more fun if you could start over from scratch and make it kind of a survival game, you know, a roguelike, obviously. So smooth noise. See, I can keep smoothing the noise, new noise. It's just drawing over the old ones, which is not so cool. But it should do what I need it to do. It should be okay. Let's see, library. What else have we got? And Bone Crusher, thank you for hosting me, by the way. Probably old time as the other one wouldn't look good. It would make it look like a game version. So yeah, the old timey version, that's easy because I could just do the sepia shader. You know, like last stand mode when you get injured and you go into that last stand mode. That is the sepia shader, kind of an old timey shader. Circular health bar. What else can we use in the future? More random functions. And hey, Abbott, gotta go to cool tutorials. Thank you. You know, this is kind of a weird episode because it's post-season wrap-up, but I think next week we'll be able to start with Season 2 and actually making a new game from scratch, so next week should be an interesting episode. It's more the planning episode, so it's not going to be too much hands-on stuff, but should be able to get started with Season 2 next week. But thank you, Hey Abbott, for dropping by and for, you know, watching me check some of these tools out. There's also a random terrain generator. That's interesting. Let's see how that works. The reason I'm kind of going through these tools is because for planning, I kind of need to know what I can do and not do. If I don't know what I can and can't do, it's hard to plan. I can make assumptions, obviously. That's part of the planning thing, just keep things vague. Keeping things vague and just say, I need to figure out if I can do this or not. But the less of that I have to do, the better. Random terrain generation. I think I did add it. Okay, yeah, it already exists. Good. So that's room 0. Let's see how that works. Yeah, because I, you know, went over to the Game Maker Marketplace and just whatever was free, it's like, okay, maybe I'll use it someday, and just kind of downloaded it all. So I haven't actually played with any of this stuff. Obviously, you guys know I haven't had time to play with any of this stuff. Okay. So this is more 2D. I think it's still a Perlin noise thing, though. So this is probably just the example of what it's doing with that noise. So it's probably a very similar thing. Yeah, being able to use Perlin noise to generate stuff is gonna take some time to get used to because it's something I've never done before. Simple weather effects. It's probably okay. LERP, full screen shaders, post effects bundle. Ah, yes, post effects bundle. Yeah, I thought I got all of these. Uh, 2 dozen. Let's check this out. House of Klaus, you're going to go stream. Okay, well, everyone also, by the way, once this is over, definitely check out House of Klaus's stream. Uh, if if it works like last week, I'll probably host your stream again, if you don't mind. Send some people your way. Watch some games. So let's see. Let me just check. Post effects bundle. I could have sworn I got all of these. Post effects bundle. I didn't just pick up the first one. So maybe I just didn't grab them all or something. I definitely own all these. These are post effects. These are more like shader things. 2 dozen. These were actually on sale, so that's why I picked them up. These actually cost money, unlike Zigthops. But they give you a lot of things you can do, like magnifying glass effects, bloom for like kind of hyper lighting things up, motion blur, crystallizing everything, glitter, burn transition. This is like if you want to like have your map burn. Like this would be a cool thing to add to the Project Spaghetti map, for example, before going into the game. Lots of cool things, but I should own all of these. Yeah, there's the bundle. Okay, so the bundle has everything else in it, theoretically. It's called Bundle 1, but there was never a Bundle 2, so let's check these out. Yeah, good question from Beaver Onyx. What are you streaming? Are you streaming with your friend again? Yeah, so there's a lot of shaders in here. The example just showed a couple of them, but if you go through them all, you can see all of them, like heat distortion, high contrast, old movie, radial blur, thermal vision. If you wanted to do like a predator mode, thermal vision's in there. So actually, check, if you want to see everything that's in here, what you have to do is go into all of these post effects packs and see them. Fog, dynamic rain, parallax foreground. Yeah, these give you a lot of options. Which ones are actually going to be useful in the game or not is something I'm going to have to look at, because there's so many of them. And I'm tempted. That's the problem with tools. You get tempted by toys, and you never end up making the game. So have to make sure not to get too... Yeah, like there's a good old movie script shader kind of going there, color mapping. Lots of stuff to use. And I think that's about it for the tools that I'm going to be able to do. The XML stuff, we'll see. This isn't going to be very exciting to add to the game because it's probably just scripts, but XML is just an easy format for storing data. But it would be kind of interesting to do that because I'm familiar with XML, and there's tools that you can put on top of XML. Like you could make a map generation tool for players to use, for example, if you're using XML. There is a demo. I'm not sure what they would put in it. Yeah, okay, test XML. So it's just reading and writing from XML files instead of like any files and text files and things like that. So that's probably something that'll come in handy down the line. But there we go. Volume system obsolete. Obviously, that's not going to help. FluxGem. That's FluxGem is if you're going to try to do like not leaderboard stuff, but what is it? FluxGem. They just had like someone doing FluxGem stuff on GameMaker's blog. Don't try to help me before I'm finished typing. Yeah, creating a backend. Yeah, analytics, that's the word I was looking for. Analytics. It also does leaderboards and stuff, but it connects with Flux and all that. That's fine. And all these like kind of minor tools that I haven't looked into. But, you know, for the most part, I think what I have in Project Spaghetti is going to help give me a start. But if I add in the shaders and I add in the XML support and Perlin noise generation and the palette swapping thing, I should be good to go. Those are probably going to be the tools I want to use. So there we go. That's good. Yeah, Season 2. So yes, Cirrus, Yay, Season 2. We're going to have to get it kicked off next week. So I'm going to have to take advantage of this 3-day weekend and start making all of the Season 2 assets. Like for the show and stuff. The animated show, whether it's worth continuing or not, that's something I'm still up in the air on. I think I will continue it for now. But whether it's going to be like those 6-minute long things or maybe cut it down and kind of break it up a little more, that's hard to say because, like I did go over in the one show, every hour I put into that is an hour I don't put into game development. And at the end of the day, the things you guys are going to be like buying and playing is the game, not the TV show and all that stuff. So it's probably worth putting value into the game as opposed to that stuff. But give me your opinion on that. Do you like that animated show enough to kind of justify it? But there we go. I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. It just kind of went through a couple of the tools to see, how much work it would be to do this stuff. And, sprite lamp, maybe it's okay. It'll depend on how much animation goes into the game. So this will be a later decision, but it's kind of good to know what this tool does and how it's working. Yeah, and Beaveronix mentioned with the show, it's cool, but it seems like a ton of time with, less value. It's not adding value to the game. So we'll think about it. We'll think about whether it's worth continuing the adventures of Bob and Dottie and stuff like that. There's other ways to do it too, so we'll think about it. So that's Sprite Lamp. That was cool. Cool tool. And Bone Crusher, good luck on your game jam this weekend. Send me an email with your results or send me a link with your results, by the way. We'd love to see that. And Cirrus, still working on the sword. Finished my gearbox for the sword. Have to send me pictures. Yes, please send me pictures. And yeah, well, this is kind of weird. I guess it's wrapping up Season 1. Oh, there we go. So, Project Spaghetti. Spent the year making it, patched it up, got some bugs out of it. Seems to be working pretty good. It's over here at itch.io. Going to try and put it up on, obviously, Steam Greenlight. It's Greenlight's a lot of competition. If I can get enough of you guys to vote for it, then yeah, you would. If you picked it up, you would get your Steam keys and everything else, and that would be nice. But it would be nice to actually make some money off of the game instead of just doing this for fun. But it is fun doing this, so there we go. And Bone Crusher, thank you for sending me a link. So we're good. That was Season 1, I guess. So next week, starting with Season 2. If you kind of want to know what we're going to do for Season 2, for the first episode, you can come over to Project Spaghetti and Trello. And, Episode 1 was kind of defining the scope, coming up with the core idea, making this task list, things like that. That was a long episode, split into 2 parts, but we'll see. I'll try to keep the episode kind of on topic and short so it doesn't go for 3 hours like the original one did. But it's going to be filling out a new Trello list with basically these stories. Like, I want to have an airplane. I want to have an airplane that can turn. I want the camera to turn with the airplane. I want to try 3D. Want procedural generation of open world. All those kind of things that the want list, the wish list, is basically what next episode's going to be, making it for the game. And Beaveronix, you bought the Tengu shirt. Oh man, you've made my day. Yes. Thank you, buddy. Oh man, thank you. And I remember you picked up the game too. So thank you very much, man. You made my day. So let's see. House of Klaus is not here to see this, but if I can find the spam picture. Where is it? Oh, did I get rid of it? Oh, there we go. It's time to spam. Yes. Let's check it out. Yes, Spreadshirt. So, this is one of those other things that took a lot of time. Probably didn't have very much payoff except for, being able to wear the hat during the show. I need to go to Blue Tengu Spreadshirt. But yes, there is a store with all the official clothing of the show. If it comes up, come on, you can do it. There we go, yes. So yeah, the t-shirt that I'm wearing now is this. The hat that I always wear is this. So there it is. There, it's all on there. The mug that I drink my coffee out of in the mornings is there. So yeah, I did have this. It's a surprising amount of time to do this because you have to get it just right to work on Spreadshirt because Spreadshirt works with vector graphics and to get the logos and stuff just the right size and stuff took me a little work. Now I could probably be a lot faster if I did a new one, but at the time it took a lot of work because I was getting used to Illustrator and stuff. But there we go. Ah, Klaus is streaming Ark. Okay, I'll host Klaus once we close out here. But thank you again, Beaveronics, for doing that. If you ever take a picture of yourself wearing the shirt, send me that. Send me the link. If you're too embarrassed to send it over Twitter, send it to my email at eric@bluetengu.com. Okay, so Hey Abbott. Okay, I got it. Hey Abbott is the friend of House of Klaus. So those two guys are both playing that. So now I have to host that. So I'll run the closing and then I'll host and jump over to House of Klaus's stream because I want to see Ark 2. Flying effing dinosaurs. For those of you who don't know what Ark is, Survival Evolved. Yes. Yeah. Okay. The sound's off good. Yes. Look at that beautiful world and dinosaurs, guns, people riding flying dinosaurs. Yes. So we're gonna go over and watch Klaus do that. So let me wrap up. Thank you guys again. I did do the wrap up at the end of the launch episode, but I want to do it one more time because it is the end of season 1. So thank you, everyone who's been following the show and dropping by and keeping with us. I do appreciate it. Obviously, Project Spaghetti, I don't know how to market, so getting money from the game is going to be hard for me. I'm not very good at it. I'm probably, part of it's because I'm shy, part of it's because I don't know the marketing side of video games and stuff. So yeah, if you guys who have done stuff before have know ways to market games and things like that, let me know. I need all the information I can get because I'm not very good at it. Like right now it's just over at itch.io, and there's the Giant Bomb page, by the way, so that I'd have to check real quick if that's something that's selectable. But Twitch uses the Giant Bomb database to determine what games you can kind of choose from here. Let's see if Project Spaghetti's in here or not. Did finally get the wiki approved. Project Spaghetti. See if it comes up. No, it's not up yet. It'll be up soon enough. Because it is in the Giant Bomb database. But you can pick Project Spaghetti from that list in probably a week from now. Got that done, but that's about all the advertising I've done, so I'm gonna have to work on that. But thank you guys again for watching, supporting the show, and I will be back next week to kick off season 2. Finally, a year's passed and it's off to season 2, and yes, flying effing dinosaurs, Blue Tengu 2015. That's my quote. You can put that on the box if you want to, Ark. So, thank you guys again, and I'll close out and host Flying Effing Dinosaurs with House of Klaus and Hey Abbott and Bone Crusher. Looking forward to seeing your game. Thank you guys, and thank you Beaveronics for buying the shirt. I do appreciate it a lot. Makes my day. It helps me. So see you next week.